My name is Ron Lim. I pencil comics and I drew with Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War, and Infinity Crusade with Jim.
And I am Jim, as he told you and blew my line. I'm Jim Starlin, the whole name. And I write comics and I used to draw them. And my firstborn in the comic book industry was Thanos, and Gamora and Drax and the Infinity Gauntlet came along afterwards, and various other jobs. Well, with Thanos, he started off in the psychology class of all places, and the guest lecturer was talking about the Freudian concept of Thanos and Eros, the dark and light side. I went with that and then realized that everybody's got something really dark and unspeakable that they have within themselves that they probably won't admit, a lot of folks, but it's there. And you never share that with anybody. But this guy, Thanos, he not only shares it, but he revels in it and acts upon it almost spontaneously. He thinks it out, but it is pretty much the impulse hits, he figures out the way to do it, and it happens. I've layered him up with a lot of other stuff, like having a Siam and Diane type of Cheers relationship with Mistress Death. You know, I've had more than my share when I was younger of dysfunctional relationship, and this was just adding on to that. And I think the complexity of a character is what makes him intriguing, and Thanos, I've had 40 years to layer him up, and so he's a mess. And I think that's what's got people kind of interested. What I'm kind of surprised is he's sort of become a sex symbol too.
Everyone loves him.
Who would expect that? I'm friends with the Thanos figures that you guys are producing. I have this landing outside my studio, and you fill up at least half of what's in there. Every time I go to a convention, somebody gives me another one.
I collect a bunch of stuff too, so I like buying statues and toys and stuff. So the Funko stuff is incredible. And I like those giant size Thanos that you guys did. We have the Endgame one, but we haven't got the Infinity War one, so we're still looking.
Well, the first one I saw was the glow-in-the-dark one, which somebody gave me, and I went and put it in my studio before I started doing the shrine out front. And every time I walked in the studio, the thing scared the shit out of me. I said, what the hell? Oh, it's him again. All right. So I figured him being Thanos, it was only appropriate that he gives me a heart attack, so he was the first of them. Luckily, the rest of them don't glow that much.
I love the look of it. I mean, the big old head, and because it's unique with his, his purple skin, his jaw, and everything, just with a big old head, just pops out even more. So I love that.
And he looks so friendly most
Yeah,
of the time.
exactly. He's so,
you know, it's such the
nice
antithesis of what we work on. You know.
He's so pleasant.
Our guy scowls all the time, and he's smiling.
Yeah.
You know, balancing act.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, both movies end the same way with, well, his part of it, end with him sitting down and accepting what he has done. The first time is triumph, and the second time is complete and abject defeat. He realizes it, rather than ranting or anything like that, he stoically sits down and just waits for the end, and I thought that was just great.
That was great, yeah. It's perfect, yeah.